Good morning and welcome to another fun-filled week in Kansas. I want to show you guys the morning sky out here today. I think it's a fair representation of this area this time of year. Dark, gloomy skies, sunshine. They just blow through the region so much. You guys have been with us for the past several weeks. We have been here in Kansas working on that little bus up there. Last week we were slowed down a little due to some physical ailments on my part, but this week we're gonna be finishing up that bus. I hope. Most of my work today is outside the bus. If you can't tell from all the sweat, this part of the bus is in direct sunlight, so I can only work out here for 30 or 40 minutes and I have to go take a break. But I've been working on building this framework here and I'm about to disassemble it. And it's going to be mounted under here, and I'm going to cut out this fiberglass to gain access to it. Much like the HVAC system condenser that is here for the whole bus. Let's cut a hole.
Guys, Shannon's almost done with this project, which means we had to come into town, and I wanted to share a little bit of a nomad trick with you. So right now we are parked in the Walmart parking lot where I just had all of our groceries delivered through the pickup to our front door and was able to get them all stowed away, put in the freezer, put in the cabinets where they go, and now can throw away this little bag of trash in their trash can instead of carrying it all with us. It's a nomad trick that you should definitely put in your handy book for all of your road adventures. Let's get back to that bus.
Well, as y'all can see, we had to make another run to the parts store. That is my life. I've gotten much better at it, but still requires several stops to build a bus. I've been working on this bracket system to hold up this as well as the water heater. And I've gotten everything drilled underneath and dry fit. And I'm about to crawl under there and cut out this fiberglass so that I can get the rest of the hardware and eventually the air conditioner up under this thing. Ooh, this part makes me nervous. I don't like cutting holes in buses. Show you the first run. That's the back one. These are longer than they're going to be, so once everything gets pinned up underneath as tight as I can get it to the floor, I'll cut the rods, and that's where the ride height will be. So it's a little down the water there. At it this morning, right where I left off last night. And I got this front set of braces installed. And now we keep moving forward. So I took me a bit of a lunch break and got a dry shirt for the day. Before I went to lunch, I cut this hole out of the countertop. And this is where our drain line, our power cable, and our gas lines are going to go down through the bus, under the bus, and to the compressor that's going to be mounted here. This is going to be our water heater as well. Let's keep moving. Well, you know, to stick with my way of doing things, I'm gonna go ahead and stop doing what I'm doing there. Because I can't hang this condenser yet because I can't fit under there once I hang it. And I have a lot more to do. One of those things is getting this thing snaked up, inside, down, turned, and across the bottom of the bus. What this is the copper lines for the AC. So one's your high pressure, one's your low pressure. And you bond it together in this tape. There's also power lines that need to run along with it, but I'll be running those separately. So I gotta get this thing shoehorned in here. Sorry y'all, I'm not gonna be able to record it. I'll try.
Guys, it has been a real hot day inside that little yellow house. I've gotten a lot of work done though. And I bet, despite all of the heat, Shane's gotten a lot of work done too. I gotta tell you guys that I am really considering investing in one of these little things. It's quite the investment when you think about the battery power to run one too though. We'll let Bailey try it out and tell us how it works. Let's see what Shane's up to.
Welcome to my chaos.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting it to be such a wreck in here, babe.
Yeah. Well, the deal is I'm finishing everything at one time, and it's also the temperature of the surface of the sun right outside of this bus most of the day, so I keep having to work on different things, you know, so I don't die from sun exposure.
I do see that the bags are starting to get packed, though. I think that means we're close, guys.
I'm trying to clean up.
What have you gotten done today?
I did some latches in here. A lot of the work is under the bus today, and I don't know if you want to go under there. Tomorrow I'm going to be showing all of you exactly what that is, because I didn't quite finish any of it today, so there's really no point in me crawling back under that bus.
I'm not crawling under there either then.
Okay.
Well, good morning, everyone. Our little yellow house was shaking a bit, and we decided to come outside and see what's going on this morning. Shane, are we gonna blow away?
I hope not. We are in Kansas, though. Everyone be making jokes about that. That wind was strong. So strong that it knocked this bird nest out of the tree. But what's funny is the whole bird nest is made of Leo's fur. And he just visits here every once in a while, but they found enough of it to insulate a nest. Let's go work on that nest. Without the sun pounding on me, standing in this spot is quite enjoyable, to be honest. This morning I've come in and started running my gas lines. I got a 5-foot long hose, so that when a tank is in here, and I have a metal stand that anchors to the subframe, and this is plugged in, when you unstrap the tank, you can sit it down on the ground. It then comes from a cutoff valve, which is rather redundant, but I still put it in. And then we have a simple T, and one goes down directly to the water heater, another one goes up directly to the stove. Simple and safe, y'all. Seeing the goal in this whole thing is to help seal the propane into this pedestal, basically. Oh, there's a little glue on it. I just built a French cleat on the bottom of this and then put a little frame in, and I have some rubberized weather stripping I'm going to be applying around this. That should create a nice airtight box. Much better than what we do, which is basically just shove it under the cabinet and turn the knob real tight.
You know, I gotta tell you guys, I don't know how he does this in these high temperatures. I feel like I'm dying, and I'm not working near as hard as he is. Always impressing me. Even when he's still not feeling great from all the antibiotics.
Hey!
Hey, hey, it's looking pretty in here.
Yeah. It is looking pretty. You like the floor?
I do.
I'm not done yet. It's gonna be better.
The next step's a fun one.
You about ready to go to town?
I'm ready when you are.
Okay. Let's clean up.
Y'all, when we get this close to the end of a build, the supply runs are constant and pretty much unavoidable, no matter how experienced the builder is. I'm not complaining though, because I got to stop by the tomato stand and I'm getting some air conditioner. That's real nice, y'all.
By this point, I hope at least one of you is frustrated at the fact that I am just trying to stick an RV water heater underneath that bus. Usually they're installed by a cutout in the side of an RV and it just sticks in there and it screws in. I didn't want to do one of those types of installs on this bus because there really wasn't a good place that I was willing to cut that big of a hole in the bus because I didn't know what would happen to it structurally. Putting it under there is a viable option. We have the space for it. The only downside is they're not made to be underneath the bus, particularly somewhere that gets as much snow and ice melt as this region does. It's going to make it rust almost immediately and make the electrical fail on it. So I do have to come up with some sort of covering. Now I cannot weld and I don't have a welder. So what I'm doing is I went and purchased some sheet metal, which is similar to what we do window deletes and stuff like that. I just picked it up at the hardware store. And I'm using some cabinet doors that were originally in the bus when I got here. And I'm creating a box. And what I'll end up doing is I'll waterproof seal around every seam, screw it all together, and then I'll spray some liquid rubber on the outside of it. And it will be much more durable than the little encasement that the water heater is itself. And that way, if that thing breaks, it can be uninstalled and a new one installed. Super simple. All right. That looks much better. So as it's hanging under the bus, this will be pointed outwards. It's obviously not completed yet. In true Shane fashion, I don't have enough screws to do this, so good thing I gotta go buy map gas tonight. And then this will be removable from under the bus, so you can get back there and change out the connections if you need to. Accessibility, #1 in my book. It's really frustrating having to pack things up and not be done. But I kind of need to get that done before I can do a lot of other things. So, like I said, the store we go. Woohoo! All done.
Yay. Hopefully you're going to feel better. You going to finish the bus today too?
I'm gonna try real hard. Like for real, for real. We'll see. I've been all over this bus already this morning. Spent a lot of time underneath it getting all the gas lines for the AC as well as the plumbing strapped to the underside, which is quite challenging. Mostly because of my size. I also came out and utilized all the screws that I went and got yesterday and seal it and got this thing put together. Now it's time to paint it. Let's keep going. Well, I'm taking a bit of a break because it's a bit warm. This particular spot is my favorite spot to take a break because there's a window over here that's vented and the window behind me, so it's a nice little wind tunnel. I wanted to show you guys this area before I get it closed up. This is where all of our water comes in from running under the bus across. So we have a drain line that goes down, and then we have a cold water supply as well as a hot water supply. And then this here is going to be the power source that comes from the breaker, and it runs down and goes to the AC unit. We also have a power cable. I've been doing things like adding latches today too. Honestly, I just find it quite hard to record all these little bitty projects, so I like to show you guys as soon as I can. Hey y'all, I think I'm gonna call it a day. I did get my water heater hung. It's not quite finalized yet, but you guys have a solid sense of what it's gonna look like. The air conditioner is gonna be hanging right there next to it. I've got a torch on the way tomorrow so I can finish up the floor as well. Maybe we'll have air running in this by tomorrow night. I hope so, y'all. Let's watch. Well, if you remember, I was really excited about burning all that, but I went and bought MAP gas, and that still didn't quite fix my problem. And I figured out the tips that I were using. One of them is much older than I am. Just weren't working. So I ordered this and got it delivered hot shot to me. And this way I'll be able to hold my torch in my hand while the bottle sits in the proper position so I can use any gas. And quite frankly, this thing's just cool. Oh man. Get ready, bus. I'm gonna set you on fire today. You know, in a controlled manner. Well, for any of you wondering how I somehow managed to tell you guys I'm gonna finish something one day and then I don't finish it that day, and how that all happens. And that happens is I spent most of my morning finalizing all the plumbing connections for this water heater and making it look downright beautiful. And then I went to hang the AC. The reason I hung the water heater first was so I could continue to work underneath the bus but get something done. Now that I've went to hang the air conditioner, I had my calculations wrong because this is a shared rod. And if you've ever built anything with this type of system, you have to have the order of operations very correct when you put stuff together. And the bracket that's going to be holding the AC needs to be above the bracket for the water heater, which means I basically have to disassemble everything and put it all back together. Sometimes you just got to do things more than once, y'all. Yeah, it squeezed right in there. I had to cut just a little metal tab off of the top of it to get it to slip between the frame rails, but it was the exact right size for the job. Now it's time to get that water heater back in. Boy, I'm tired of working on these rocks. They remind me of the desert. They hurt. Well, y'all, it's almost 7 o'clock. I think I'm gonna call it quits for the day and quits for the week. Unfortunately, you know what I'm about to tell y'all, I didn't finish this bus for you this week. But I did some cool stuff. I managed to finish getting the air conditioner suspended underneath the bus. I still have the bolts to cut down and the water heater to reinstall. I've got to go pick up a couple of bolts that are 1/2 inch longer than what I have. And, you know, finish up the inside as well. I still have to burn the floor. I was hoping to do that today, but that kind of hinged on me being able to clean up all my tools out of this area. And quite frankly, I'm just not done right here yet. So there they stay. Tomorrow or next week, I'll empty it out and burn the floor. Make sure you'll come back to see what it looks like. I know I'm excited, and I hope you are too. See y'all then. Bye.